What is going on? What is going on, faithful? It is your boy Niner Sickness with the N.W.A podcast. I got my boy, the Boston hater himself, sitting on the sidelines, ready to come in. I just want to let you guys know to do me a favor. Make sure you smash the like button, subscribe to our channel if you haven't subscribed already, and hit that notification bell so that you will be notified each and every time we go on. With no further ado, let me bring in my boy, the Boston hater. What's up, Boston hater?
Hey, what's up, Beto? What's up, everybody?
Not much. Just ready to talk some football, talk some Niners. What's up, Steve? Welcome to the show. Josh Blackwood, welcome to the show. Welcome. If you're watching me from Facebook, welcome. If you're watching from YouTube, make sure you like and subscribe to this channel if you're not subscribed already, as we're trying to grow the N.W.A. Niners with Attitude podcast channel. So we appreciate that. What's up, David Williams? Welcome to the show. So how was your week there, Boston hater?
Busy as all get up. Working those double shifts. That doesn't go away. Out of my 5-day work week, I worked 4 of them this week.
Wow.
So yeah, it was a little taxing, but hey, I'm glad it's over. Weekend's here.
I hear that, brother. I hear that. Definitely, it's the weekend. Gotta enjoy it. What's up, Tom? Hey, Tom, I sent you an email. Your patch is going out, brother, so enjoy. What's up, Lucky? How you doing, brother? There's my brother, Glenn. How you doing, bro? Good to see you. Thank you for stopping by. Our boy, Eric Davis, E-Man, is on the comments. Thank you for joining. I told him the same thing, Eric. I love that jersey. That looks nice. It's a Jerry Rice jersey. Tom, I was waiting for the other room. For the other room.
Yeah, I don't know what
that means.
Oh, supposed to be saying there, Tom, but give us a little clarification, Tom.
Yeah.
I don't know what that's.
The other room? Yeah, please clarify on that. But so we're gonna just enjoy each other's company tonight, talk a little bit of football. I mean, there hasn't been any type of changes that I'm aware about, unless Nate brings it up. But just looking forward for the season to start, getting our plays. I know a lot of the OTAs, I believe, started already for some teams, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm not sure.
Did you hear what Robert Saleh, he wrote on there? He's like, after this first practice, he automatically went and got in line like he normally does and was waiting for the head coach to talk. And then he realized, oh shit, I'm the head coach. That was hilarious, bro, how you mentioned that. He's so accustomed waiting for the coach to talk after practice. He stood there. They're looking at him like, you're the head coach? So I thought that was funny, being his first year. I hope well for him. I know that they're going to have problems a little bit over there because there's so many new adjustments, but I just hope their quarterback doesn't get killed, man.
He has only 2 offensive linemen. They drafted one, and the one they drafted last year. So perhaps he's gonna be okay. I hope he is.
Yeah. And then on the question about Sherm, I believe he's waiting. I know he's spoken to the Niners. I believe he's spoken to the Seahawks. At this point, it's just
4 teams.
4 teams?
That was the Seahawks, the Raiders, the Niners, and there is a team on the East Coast, but I do not remember who it was. It wasn't the Jets, though.
Really? Now, I know he's a West Coast guy, so that East Coast is going to have to pay him a lot to take him away from over here.
That I saw today that I found interesting. Anyone who has K'Wan Williams on Instagram, he posted Sherm back to the Bay.
Really?
I don't know if there's anything to that. Maybe.
Well, players know, man. They talk to each other, so
and they're kind of close.
Yeah.
So.
Oh shoot. Okay. Well, let me ask you, Nate, on this Sherm thing. Give me a good scenario, him coming back, and give me a bad scenario from your point of view if Sherm does come back to the Niners for the right price, of course.
Well, that's the good scenario for the right price. You've got a couple of new young corners on that team that could definitely oh, maybe it was the Saints that and it wasn't East Coast. Yeah.
Glenn
Eric
said it was
says,
Baltimore, so I don't know.
well, who knows? I mean,
Who cares? As long as
uh bottom line is the thing that would be good for him is that the way that he could groom the young players that we have coming in and help them out in the secondary. But maybe he's got a little left in the tank. I didn't see it at the end of last year, but we can assume that that had something to do with his injuries. I know that he definitely looked bad at the end of the year. So, I mean, I would be glad to see him, especially if he can play. I mean, if he can, be any semblance of his old self, I would be happy to have him back. But for the right price, once again, I'm not paying him that uh, 5-time Pro Bowler, 4-time All Pro price tag. That ain't happening.
yeah, yeah, you don't, yeah, you
Yeah.
want to kind of get away from that. Absolutely, kind of get away from that. I mean, he's still productive. I think he'll still be able to, if anything, to be that coach on the field, but not for an expensive price. I agree. You want to, if anything, you want to give the young kids an opportunity to play, and and do their thing. But Tanisha, hey Tanisha, how you doing? She says hi, hello Beto, hello Boston Hater. Welcome
Hello,
to the show.
Tanisha.
But yeah, man. So I'm looking. I want to get I want to get your input on our new guard. What's your thoughts of him? I know he's a mauler. I know he's able going to do a lot of work. I see excitement in your eyes when I mention him, bro. So
This
tell me
guy.
about him.
Basically, you know what? When teams come to play us, bring your hard hat because they drafted these running backs and this guard, especially the one they drafted in the second round. He's the one. Uh, he's going to start day one, week one. He's in. He's going to take that spot from Brunskill. And he is a big, strong, physical guy that moves a lot better than you would think for his size. He weighs 325 pounds, but, you see all of the things where he is one of those that in the run game, zone running, zone blocking is his strong suit in the run game. That's primarily what we do. So that's going to be a plus. That's going to solidify our offensive line. Pass protection, he's definitely an upgrade over what we have at that right guard position. So we're going to see a lot of improvement. I think that it's a plan to really tell teams that if you don't bring your hard hat, you could go home because you're not going to be able to stop this offense because we're going to turn around and hand the ball off 30, 40 times. And if you can't stop it, you might get it 50 or 60. We got a stable of running backs. And I think that this is what they want Jimmy Garoppolo out there for 17 games.
Mm.
I That's got a lot to do with it as well. It's not so much just about you got this young guy and you get the running game and the defense together so that I think it also has to do with they want him to be groomed. You got this young quarterback that really, quite frankly, all the talent in the world, but not a very accurate thrower of the football. And I think that they see some things that they feel like they can fix with him. It's difficult to fix a guy's mechanics when he has to play because he just goes for what he knows. He's not learning. He's not sitting back and uh, practicing what he needs to change that habit. So, um, yeah, and Steve Stevens, he's not just a good zone blocker for his size. He's a good zone blocker, period. Um, if you looked at his pro football focus grade, his zone run blocking grade was like an 87, between an 87 and an 88, which is outstanding. Uh, that's not anything to, you know, away from. Mike McGlinchey's, who is an excellent run blocker, was just slightly higher than that. So that kind of gives you an
Mm,
idea where he sits.
I
Uh,
like that. Yeah, I like that, man. Yeah, he gets me excited as well. I know a lot of 49er fans were kind of like, he might not be the starter. He might have to compete with Daniel Brunskill, and I think
no,
he'll compete. He'll compete, but
yeah,
yeah,
he'll compete. Let's put it this way: don't be surprised if come preseason game one, Brunskill gets a whole lot of play, and this guy plays like the first couple of couple of series, and he's gone. So I think that he's going to take that spot. He's just more talented. He's, quite frankly, at this point, better. So I really can't see him not taking that job and taking it quickly.
I agree. And the thing with Daniel Brunskill, I think they can sit him behind Alex Mack and have him continue to learn that center position from him. And I'm not saying he'll be the starter center after he leaves, but if he sits behind him and learns from a top notch center like him, it doesn't hurt, especially since we have our guard now. I don't know about you guys, but I love my offensive line now. It's gonna be strong. As long as they stay healthy, that's the key. But if they can maintain healthy, they're gonna keep Garoppolo healthy the best they can because they're gonna run the ball a lot. They're gonna move the ball. They're gonna run the ball. So hopefully that will keep Garoppolo upright and not injured. And I know, and we said this in the past, we'll say it again. I know that everyone, including myself, is anxious to see the new toy. We want to see what Lance looks under Shanahan, and all that's great. And I know that that desire is there. But listen, be patient. It'll pay off. Let him continue to learn. Let him pick up and grasp the offensive from Kyle Shanahan. Let him feel comfortable with it. Trust me, when he's ready to come in, he will come in 2022 and never look back. But try to maintain your expectations for him coming in 2021 just because you want to see him play. The best option is for Garoppolo to play in 2021, play well. It benefits us in more than you think. It benefits us in us winning games, possibly going to the playoffs, and who knows how far we go within the playoffs. But not only that, but if Garoppolo plays well, his trade value went up. And at the same time, we have this young kid learning and grasping. Even if he picks up the offense, I want to get your thoughts on this too, Nate. Let's say he picks up the offense quickly. Let's say he learns it quickly because he's that
No,
smart. It's
no,
still not It's still not good idea to bring him in, right?
no. My issue is this. If you watched, which I watched, every last pass that Trey Lance threw in college, Trey Lance missed a enormously high rate of passes that were just like uncatchable. I mean, he's like when it comes to uncatchable passes, he's like Josh Allen Wyoming level uncatchable. Like, just slightly under 30% of his balls were totally uncatchable. Now, a lot of these passes were not difficult passes to hit. So I think that he's going to have to really, there's something with his mechanics. And it's not his work. His footwork's good. Um, it might be his throwing motion. It might be that he takes a longer stride than he should because sometimes he's ground balling these little 7-yard out routes. Things that you would just think that, oh man, that's a lay easy. Um, yeah, he's not accurate enough, and I think that they see something that they can fix, and they need to fix it because if he's in the game, they're not going to fix it that way. He's going to run into issues where he's playing and he's not thinking about doing what he needs to do to to fix his mechanics, whatever part of his is his throwing motion? Is it that he's, stepping too far? I don't know. There's a number of things it could be, but whatever it is, they need to make sure that he's practicing what he needs to change. And, that takes time. That's not something you want to put a guy out there after a month and
Yeah.
he's going to just revert back to what he was doing.
Yeah.
So,
You want to build his confidence, not
yeah.
demolish it. What's
You
up,
want
Florida Mike? Welcome to
oh,
the
go
show.
ahead. How you doing,
What's
Mike?
going on, gentlemen? How you guys doing?
Doing good. Just enjoying Friday, brother. Enjoying Friday, hearing Nate give his perspective on why we should not start Lance, even if he learns the system, even if he's ready to go, if Jimmy Garoppolo is playing well, why
Yeah.
we should be patient and
Yeah.
allow Lance to fully grasp everything and then bring him in next year, when kind of like an Alex Smith and Patrick Mahomes situation, and let him allow them at that time to roll and win a lot of games for us.
I don't know what they did with him, with Patrick Mahomes, but Patrick Mahomes was careless in college. He threw a lot of bad balls, especially late in games when games were close. He was one of those guys that when the game is on the line, oh boy, don't let him get out there slinging the ball because he's gonna throw a pick.
Yep.
He's gonna turn over on downs. That was who he was. I mean, Texas Tech had losing seasons the years that Patrick Mahomes was their quarterback. And the Big 12 does not play defense. These were scoring derbies. And he found ways to mess up a lot of those games.
Yep.
And when they drafted him at 10, I was like, why? I mean, yeah, he's got this nice skill set, but he's always making these mistakes. Man, he got in there after sitting for a year. I don't see those mistakes now. I've seen a guy play 3 years of football and throw 24 interceptions.
Yeah.
It's unbelievably low.
And
I think it's
they were able to adjust all that while he sat behind Alex Smith.
Doesn't make poor throws. It's rare.
Yeah, he's a beast within himself, Nate and Mike. But I think a lot of those bad habits of his coming out of college was able to turn around because he sat behind Alex Smith, because he's able to see Alex Smith do the things that he did on the field and watch a pro be a pro, and they were able to make a lot of those adjustments, and now the benefits. Look at the guy; they already have a Super Bowl with him. So even though it sounds like, man, the patient game, and Nate and Mike will tell you, but mostly Nate, I am not a very patient man. I want things now, so I do want to see Lance, but the other side of me understands that I'd rather see Lance take over when he's ready to take over in 2022 and never look back and be that quarterback that we think he will be, instead of bringing him in a little bit too early just because we want to see him, having him make his lumps and mistakes, mess up his confidence, and then kind of never bounce back. So as much as I want to see him play, I think the best benefit is to watch him just learn. I mean, we're going to have a running game. The running game within itself is going to be fun to watch anyway, regardless of Jimmy being back there. We're going to see our running backs do a lot of great plays, our receivers. So hopefully that's the direction they go. Mike, since you're just popping in, what's your thoughts on having Trey Lance wait and learn based on putting him early, even if he learns the system quickly?
Well, man, I'm gonna be honest. I got a different perspective. I think a lot of people are going to say that because traditionally, when rookies coming in are at a disadvantage. It don't matter what school or system they went to, North Dakota State, Alabama, you name it. Any rookies at a disadvantage. This is the NFL. It's a whole nother level. So the reason why I have a different perspective is you take Kyle Shanahan and you look at what he did with RG3 his rookie year. RG3 played phenomenally well his rookie season, and he didn't have half of the team what we have now as far as on paper anyway. Our team is built to really do something this year, assuming we stay healthy. So if you give this guy this type of offensive line that we have, the weapons that we have, and if everyone stays healthy, if he has to come in and be a game manager at best, I'm okay with that. I'm not saying starter from day one, but the reality is Garoppolo was injury prone, so we could sit here and say all we want. Hey, he needs to sit for a year. You better hope Garoppolo can make it to a year, because the reality is he's going to have to play. He's a number 3 draft pick, and you know what? Here's the reality, man. Whether we like it or not, in this business, they want to see results, you know, progressively get better fast. They're not looking, most people today aren't patient. It is what it is. So the reality is, in this business, you're gonna have to show what you can do. Granted, we would want him to have every advantageous curve to learn, because North Dakota State, no matter what school, like I said, you got a lot of guys who played at big time colleges. I mean, hell, RG3 went to what, Baylor? What defense they playing out there? I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's not like a stud defense out there in his conference either. So North Dakota State is definitely a lesser competition, but the reality is, you've seen how many quarterbacks from USC came into the league and did nothing of their potential. Not most of them. Same thing with Alabama. Most of their quarterbacks win championships, but they're not the ones that people are talking about. They're championship quarterbacks. So like I said, I'm my whole thing is the man will only get experience until he's in a game. I'm confident what Kyle Shanahan's doing. I don't care about what rookies have done in the history of the game. I've seen what Kyle Shanahan has done with quarterbacks. I've seen what he's done with RG3 as a rookie, and I've seen what he can do with this team as long as we're healthy. If this team is fully healthy for most of the year, and we're in a situation where he has to come in, hopefully later than early, it is what it is. You got to step up and get to the big boy league. Expect some mistakes, but also expect some growth. I mean, this guy has tools. He has upside. So, if he learns fast, great. Is it likely? Well, it has yet to be seen. So, to be fair, I'm on a wait and see. Hopefully Garoppolo stays healthy, but if not, he's gonna have to get in the Lions den, man, and make it happen.
Well, that pretty much goes without saying, but that's not what we're referring to. But I hear where you're coming from.
Well, like I said, I jumped in. So the question presented to me is, what do I think about Lance playing early?
Sure.
And I answered it based on my perspective. So,
Sure.
but yeah, that's what I feel. If Lance comes in, I don't see why he can't do that. What the hell RG3 did as far as the impact with this team versus RG3's Washington team.
So let me ask you this question, because
Sure.
I'm kind of confused by I just want clarification. So what are you concerned with? A quarterback that maybe needs some fixing because he's got accuracy issues that may be able to be worked through not being out there and having to go for what you know? Or are you just more interested in results? Because one has long-term effects and the other one is the short-term. So which is it that you think is the best? Because the given scenario right now is you got to adjust on the fly. I get that. If you've got a quarterback that gets injured, the next guy steps up. I get that. But in the situation you are in, which you see somebody that can start and stay in front of him for a year or potentially even two, not necessarily just one, because you have him under contract for two. So, it could be one, it could be two. I mean, are you pushing for this guy to, as soon as you think he understands the offense, to throw him in there? Or are you willing to wait until he's got his whatever mechanical flaw he has that's causing these inaccuracy issues fixed? Or, what is it? I mean, are you just looking for the results of him being able to add libs? So maybe that gives the team a boost, but it's going to be potentially short-lived because he's got some other things he has to work through that are weaknesses. Where are you at?
Like I said again, I'm looking at the fact that I've seen what Kyle Shanahan has done with these quarterbacks going to their rookie year or their first year that he's coached them, and what he has done with them each game. They've gotten better. I haven't seen people just tremendously get worse or fall off. You go back to Matt Schwab, RG3, Matt Ryan, hell, even Garoppolo when he first came here the last 5 games of the seasons. when he first got here, people were super excited about Garoppolo. Garoppolo has never played in like 3 to 4 years at max. I mean, he had a few games here and there for Brady, but he hasn't really played significantly much. When he came to the Niners, his last 5 games, granted they were towards the end of the season, granted they weren't meaningful games, but the other teams, when he played against their first string, Garoppolo looked pretty damn good. And in those reps, he was able to build confidence. And I guarantee you, because Garoppolo got those reps, even though he was a better quarterback than what we had, because he got those reps, despite the lack of experience, it helped him be on this team. So what I'm saying is, you're not going to get experience not playing, regardless of how ready or not ready you are. All I'm saying is, if this guy is in practice, despite we as fans can say whatever we want, we're not in the field. We're not really assessing these guys at the level that Kyle Shanahan's doing. So the reality is, if this guy's balling out in practice, let me ask you this: if he's bringing a different element to the game to where he can open up our offense more with what we're doing, and he's a game manager, are you against him not getting reps? Especially
Yes.
if we having weapons that are healthy surrounding him with this magnificent O line that we have.
Is Jimmy healthy?
Hey, yeah, and let's just say he's
Then I want him
performing.
holding the clipboard.
Okay, and if he's performing good enough to where he's making noise in practice to be able to
And he's
get it
making
out.
noise in practice, and I'm proud of that.
Right. What I'm getting at is, you have to start somewhere. They're not going to throw him in the game without him performing in practice. If he's performing in practice, is he giving the coaches confidence? If he's turning heads and they give him an opportunity and he makes it the most of his opportunities in the small reps that he gets, would you not increase his reps as game goes?
I would increase his practice reps.
Okay, fair enough. So, like I said, I'm about doing whatever it takes to win. If there's some packages that you can put Trey Lance in, and if he's capable
Definitely.
of,
No.
okay, like I said, you can say that, but again, RG3, his rookie year, if he would have had a veteran quarterback ahead of him, he would have never had the rookie year he had. So I'm not saying this guy's going to come out and do
And
RG3,
RG3
but
is
hold on,
terrible.
let me finish. He got his rookie year was not terrible.
No, I'm
His
talking about
rookie
a
year was not
terrible
terrible.
example.
You can say that, but we're talking about a rookie. We're not talking about his career. RG3 got injured. That's why his career derailed a lot, and he
Why he's
wasn't
a terrible example.
well. But his rookie year is not a
He's
terrible
a
example.
terrible
We're talking about
example
a rookie.
because he's a highly accurate thrower of the football, which Trey Lance, because of his uh, whatever mechanic issue he's got, is not.
Again, that
That's
has
why
yet to be seen. So
no, it's not yet to
that's
be
that
seen.
has
It's a fact. It's already there. We got 318 passes that say he's not an accurate thrower of the football.
again, again. He hasn't
Not
played in the
changing
league yet,
tomorrow
so
or next week or next
um,
month.
that's fine. But RG3 also has some flaws in his game that might have been valued differently. So if he's a better passer to you, RG3 had other flaws that he was not valued as much. And from what I'm hearing, RG3 didn't have the work ethic that Trey Lance did. So this is just rumors, but at the end of the day, who cares about what deficiencies he has right now in May? We're talking about him having an opportunity to come in and get better if he gets a small amount of reps, even if it's in garbage time. Let's say we're blowing the team out and he plays like, I don't know, half of the fourth quarter in meaningless minutes, but he comes in and he shows like, hey, I can pass a little bit better than what these people say. I have improved. I can do little packages here and manage the game. I'm saying at the end of the day, it will do nothing but make him better because Garoppolo has an injury history that if you're saying this based on Garoppolo being there, I can understand that. But at the end of the day, um, you know, he's going to have to get in a position where he's going to have to be ready. So you can say right now he's an inaccurate passer, but that's not what people say. They're going to progressively get better when they're working. So yeah, they will. Kyle Shanahan will develop him. That's why we draft him at 3. How long it takes him to get there, we don't know. It has yet to be seen. But if he's thrown in the fire earlier than later, I mean, hey, RG3 at the end of the day didn't have this team, despite him being a better passer.
RG3 didn't have a quarterback that was worthy of starting in front of him.
Correct. So this is my point. My whole point is RG3 has a totally different situation. He had to get thrown into the fire. He had to play, and he excelled at as a rookie. Despite how much he might have a better passer than Trey Lance, he had deficiencies as well. if we go back and look at RG3, he had some deficiency as well. But nobody questioned that when he won Rookie of the Year and proved himself and he did his thing. So what I'm saying is, in this situation, Trey Lance has a better quarterback than RG3 did, but at the same time, his quarterback is injury prone. So I'm saying I am prepared to get, Garoppolo's injury prone.
Yeah.
I mean, all right.
You know
So
what? It's not even, this isn't even a discussion if Garoppolo gets injured. It's not.
well,
It goes in the game, in the story.
okay,
It's
if Garoppolo does not get injured, then it's the same thing. He's gonna still have an opportunity to compete as the season goes if he's doing what he has to do. And we don't know that his issues or whatever. Kyle Shanahan is what I'm saying is, if Kyle Shanahan worked with Matt Schwab and made him look better and
Matt
work with Matt
Schaub
Ryan,
was a
yeah,
very accurate thrower of the football too.
I don't care
And
about him being an
then
accurate
he
thrower.
got
I'm
beat
talking
up.
about him as
And he
okay,
was
after Kyle
good at
Shanahan
throwing it
got
to the
done
other
with him,
team.
what'd you hear about Matt Schwab after Kyle Shanahan was done with him? Did anybody talk about Matt Schwab being a great thrower in the league? No.
He
Every
was
time Kyle Shanahan leads these quarterbacks, they don't be the same production that they had as when he was with them. So I'm saying he helps quarterbacks be a lot better. So I don't know how fast that learning curve is going to be, is what I'm saying. So whether Garoppolo's there or not, I'm not saying Lance is going to take his starting spot. What I am saying is, don't shoot somebody down when they haven't had an opportunity to prove what they can do in a system that can benefit their skill set. Let's wait and see what he brings to the table. If this dude comes out and he's able to surprise people, you know
I
what I
agree
mean?
on wait and see. I agree. Wait.
Yeah, let's wait and see, because it's easy for everybody to sit here and say, sit him down for a year or two. This dude is a number 3 draft pick. He has a lot of upside. What happened to all that talk? That went out the window now all of a sudden. I'm saying let's give him an opportunity to see what he can do as this season progresses. And guess what? If Garoppolo's healthy, and if Garoppolo's healthy, how do we know Garoppolo won't have bad games or questionable games? How do we know what his mindset is? He's never been in a situation where he's been in competition as a starter. We don't know what his mindset is going to be like. So we're assuming just because he knows the playbook, he has a better grasp of everything. He has more experience. He took our team to the Super Bowl. At the end of the day, it's a new year. Garoppolo has to come out and prove himself too. He has to be pushed as well. And if he balls out, that's great. But I'm saying, hey, may the best man win. I want to win. I don't care what it takes. And if Garoppolo's our best bet, cool. But if Lance comes in and starts to show improvement and starts to do things that we didn't expect as a rookie, hey, that's even better. So we'll see what happens.
That's a great not argument, but a debate between both of you. I was engaging with the people in the comments while you guys were talking to one another. Both of you guys bring great topics, or not topics, but great points and perspective to the situation with Trey Lance. If he has to start, I'm okay with him starting if he has to start, but I would hope, of course, we don't have no control over injury, but I would hope it will be much later than sooner if he has to come in. The more games that Garoppolo can get in and allow Lance to learn, I think it'll be better. But, who knows? If you start him and he plays really well like RG3, that's a beneficial. But then if you start him and he doesn't play very well, then there's going to be that conversation, well, they should have started Jimmy instead. One thing we do know for sure, we can win with Jimmy. If Jimmy's healthy, we can win games. We can go far. He took us. I don't want to hear none of that. We ran the ball 50,000 times in the playoffs against the Vikings and the Packers, and it wasn't Jimmy. Jimmy did a lot of things in 2019 to get us where we were. I have faith in Jimmy. The only bad thing about Jimmy, he gets hurt. But I'd rather go into this season knowing that we have Trey Lance waiting in the wings rather than having Nick Mullins or CJ Beathard waiting. So if anything, that's an encouragement. Let's just hope and keep our fingers crossed that Jimmy stays healthy, because the guy can win. Jimmy can win, especially the type of offense that Kyle Shanahan runs. Especially if we're going to be running the ball a lot. Jimmy can do that, and I believe that Lance can come in also and do that. I mean, I don't know what his percentage was, but I think he had the highest percentage underneath center with his back towards the defense than the rest of the quarterbacks.
He ran more plays under center than any of the other
The other
quarterbacks.
ones.
Most of the other ones didn't spend a lot of time under center.
So he's more used to having his back towards the defense than others.
Especially one Alabama quarterback that only had 11 snaps under center his entire collegiate career.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm so glad we don't have Mac Jones. The other day, I was watching fan reaction of Niner fans reacting, and there was not one freaking video clip that I saw that wanted Mac Jones to be a Niner. They didn't, at this point, they didn't care whether it was Fields or Lance. All they knew is they didn't want it to be Jones at 3. I never heard they didn't want Jones, period. They just didn't want him at 3. So to that point, yeah, I'm glad we didn't have Jones. I'm glad we have Lance. And I think with underneath Kyle Shanahan's system, he's going to be great. He's going to be, I mean, he runs a lot of the stuff that we run already here. So his transition shouldn't be that much. But again, the more you learn behind a professional quarterback like Jimmy, and one thing I do like about the locker room is the brotherhood in that locker room. You know, for what I read, Jimmy was the first one to reach out to Trey Lance and welcome him to the team. You don't get that with the Packers. You don't get that with other teams. You definitely get that with the 49ers because the 49ers built that trust with one another. They're out. I mean, they spoke to Jimmy prior to drafting a quarterback. It's that mutual respect between GM and players. Being that John Lynch is a player himself, he knows how players react. So I'm glad that they're doing the way they're doing it, man. So regardless of who starts first or who comes in, all I know is that 2021 is going to be fun. We're going to win a lot of games, and I can't wait for the damn schedule to come out on May 12th. My anticipation for that is that's my next anticipation. I want to see that schedule. So I want to see if we play a division rival first or someone out of the division. So I'm just curious. And I would like to play the Bears towards the end of the season more than the start of the season. Would you guys rather play the Jaguars at the beginning or towards the end of the season?
Come on. Foolish. Give me the layup. Play him early.
Yeah, play those
I don't
quarterbacks
wait
early.
till they figure it out. Beat him up early.
Yeah. Mess up his confidence early, huh?
Hey, no, you don't have to mess up his confidence. We just got to get a W. He can figure it out in week 9. We have our win already.
I hear that. But you guys were, I was reading the comments, man, and people really, really enjoy your guys' debate with one another. They love the flair.
People just like to see me and Mike go back and forth. Me and Mike love each other, man.
Oh no, I don't think they see it any other way.
They love to see us go like we're really arguing. Like there's some, yeah.
They're not.
I mean, like I said, I'm gonna make it clear, man. You asked me a question, and I'm gonna answer it the way I feel. This is not saying Jimmy Garoppolo should not start. I just open up the comments and I see people trying to be funny. Like Mike Florida once, somebody said, "I want to see him get hurt, RG3 get hurt or something," trying to make a joke. But no, that's not the case at all. I mean, the reality is, we don't know what someone can and can't do. So here's the funny thing: how many of you guys that are saying sit him for a whole year, right? Assuming Garoppolo's healthy, how many of you guys have seen Kyle Shanahan draft his quarterback since he's been in the business? You know, this is his first time drafting his guy. This is his first time he can mold his guy. So to be fair, if Kyle Shanahan inherited quarterbacks and done well with them in their first season, I don't see why he can't get his guy and do the same thing. He's shown that he did it with the rookie in RG3 despite him being a better passer. He had deficiencies as well. So my whole thing is, I'm saying let's just give it an opportunity to play out, to have them have their to have the man at least learn this playbook, learn the system, see what he could do. He might come in here and surprise some people, man. You just don't know. If the expectations are that low to just sit him out for the whole year and have no reason to play him as long as Garoppolo's available, then I mean, you've already pretty much said he has no shot at competing this year. And we don't know that. This guy can come in and again, Kyle Shanahan is very good at hiding weaknesses. Hell, he made Nick Mullins and CJ Beathard look better than what they are, and that's not saying a whole lot with what they did. But I guarantee you, outside of Kyle Shanahan, these guys wouldn't have done what they did, the little they did here. I mean, I don't know that if damn Nick Mullins can beat the Rams, why can't Trey Lance do the same damn thing? I mean, you tell me Trey Lance is better than Nick Mullins and CJ Beathard already from what people think. So if he's better than those two, why can't he do more productive than what we had at backup, at our backup quarterback? So he might not do enough to overtake Jimmy. That I don't know, but he might do enough to at least say I can get some snaps, as the season progresses and potentially make a competition. You just don't know. But we'll see. Right now Garoppolo is the guy that everybody feels more comfortable with because he's more proven. But again, that all that stuff can change if Trey Lance supersedes expectations a little bit. Who knows? We'll see what happens. And I love you too, Boston Hater.
Yeah, I'm gonna let you guys roll with each other for a few minutes. I'm gonna be engaging in the comments, but I'm right here with you guys.
Nah,
yeah,
he's watching a basketball game. You know what he's doing.
No, actually, I'm not. Honestly, I'm not.
Yeah, whatever.
You actually reminded me that they are playing, but I forgot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but they've been playing lousy, so I don't want to watch them anyway.
Game.
However long it takes Trey to develop, whether it's this year, next year, whatever, I believe Trey will develop, and we'll see how that goes. So I'm gonna be honest, I don't like using the Alex Smith and Mahomes comparison for me.
Well, there's a lot of them. There's a lot of different ones. He's not the only one. I mean, that's just one example. I mean, Phillip Rivers sat behind Drew Brees for 2 years. Eli Manning sat behind Kurt Warner for like a half a season. I mean, it just, you never know. Now, mind you, Eli could have benefited from sitting longer because Eli really didn't look very good his first half a year that he was out there. But, he got it together eventually, and like I said, there's a lot of quarterbacks that, sat, Aaron Rodgers sat for 3 years. So, any event.
How many quarterbacks have came in and started and had a good career, but their first couple seasons wasn't great? Like, what did Peyton Manning do when he came in the league? Did he start right away?
Yeah.
And his rookie year wasn't great, right?
He'll be right back in. He froze.
So Peyton Manning started right away, and he had a ton of interceptions, as I recall. But he played every year, got those reps, and you see how he turned out. I'm not saying that's the case with Trey Lance, but again, my point is you don't know what someone's going to do until they get in the system, until they get exposed to that type of scenario. If he doesn't pan out as quick and he snaps, then we have actual footage to say, hey, we don't know. My thing is I'm a wait to see guy. I'm not saying bench him for a whole year when we haven't even played a damn snap, but I'm also not saying throw him into the wolves either because he has a chance to overtake Garoppolo. I am saying let's wait and see. I'm not going to say shelve him, man. This guy might come in and again exceed expectations, especially if Kyle can hide some of those weaknesses and make him effective. That's really all he has to do is manage the game. So, it's not impossible to be effective in an NFL game if you have skill sets that Kyle Shanahan can utilize. It's not.
I mean, I hear you, and I'm not going back and forth on this. I mean, we've already said what we had to say on that.
No, this is not towards you. This is towards some of the fans that are still commenting and saying sit a year. Like I said, I just opened up the comments. So I see people talking about Justin Herbert and all these other quarterbacks or whatever, but it is what it is. So everybody has an opinion.
Carson Palmer sat a year behind John Kitna. So, yeah. I mean, there's just all kinds of, there are different ways to do it. Basically, I think you got to look at what you got and what your guy needs. And you base it on what he needs, because you're putting a guy out there and you know what you have. And if you know what you have, you know whether he should be out there or not. And, when you talk about guys like Peyton Manning, wasn't an option for him. He was the only guy on the team. Yeah. You look at some of I don't even remember what the name of that guy is. By the time he got to his second season, he had this guy for like 6 or 7 years named Sorgi was his last name. The guy was terrible. Yeah. I don't think he was there his first year, but they had nobody. So, it just depends on your situation. We have a favorable situation. So it's a good idea to take advantage of it as long as we need to,
Yeah, I'm not against that. Like I said, I trust the coaches, so they're going to evaluate and see him on a level that more than everybody on here will. And if the coaches feel like he has an opportunity to do something in the game, even if it's a few snaps, I'm going to trust it until we see it with our own eyes. So we'll see what happens. He's probably going to sit more likely for a while, considering that Garoppolo is our guy, and that's understandable. But it wouldn't surprise me if middle of the season they start giving him a little bit more reps or something. We'll see.
What's up, Joe Garcia? Welcome to the show. I want to ask you guys a question. I know we talked earlier about Aaron Banks starting as a guard. I want to get both of you guys' perspective on the thoughts on Jalen Moore as a guard. What are you guys' thoughts on him? And was that a good pick where we took him? Do you think he'll be good for us? I want to get you guys' perspective. We'll start with Mike, and then we'll have the Boston Hater give his analysis on that pick.
Well, like all draft picks, they're all crapshoots, right? So, you don't know what a guy's going to do. I mean, who would ever thought our undrafted free agent would have been our best running back? With Mostert, we didn't know these things. So you don't really know what a guy's going to do. We got the guy from Notre Dame getting a lot of hype, but this other guard could pan out and be better. We just don't know. And again, I'm going to be consistent. If I'm saying this with Trey Lance, I'm going to say with every rookie on this team. If they're coming in and they're in the system and it's the NFL speed now, this ain't Notre Dame. This is the NFL now. So while he has the potential to be a starter and potentially have an impact year one, maybe by default, I mean, that's great. But until it has yet to be seen, some of you guys that are saying sit Lance, we're the same people talking about start Jalen Hurts going to be the man. And you have no proof to show that. He hasn't played yet. You got hyped over preseason and was ready to see him just go out there and put him on a pedestal, but yet talking about bench, somebody. So again, let's wait until they get out there. I don't know. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know. I hope he comes out there and does great. I really do. But at the same time, I know we're in a tough division, and I believe we had a tough division in the NFL, and we're in the NFC on top of that. So it doesn't get easy, but we'll see, man. Hopefully he comes in there and does his thing. I mean, I'm anticipating him to do well, but we'll see.
Right on. Go ahead,
Nate. Moore is going to be fighting for the job that Brunskill has, backing up. Okay, I've said enough.
Hey, Dina, Harvey, how you doing? Welcome to the show. Appreciate you. So you guys made both of your points on the guards. So now that we have those guards, especially Banks opening up holes, I want to get your thoughts. And I don't know too much about him, but your thoughts on the running back that we picked up.
Which one?
Sermon. Trey Sermon.
Oh, you know about him. Don't act like you don't know about him.
Never seen him play.
Trey Sermon. You guys met.
Whatever. He did not run all over my defense.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Absolutely. You guys met.
I like
Clemson game. You remember. You know Trey Sermon. Was that 246 yards?
Shut up. Moving on.
Oh, you know him. You should be happy he's on our team.
Oh, yeah. Let's talk about the Northwestern game better.
Even more reason he should be on our team.
Yeah, the kid. Now I heard that health issues, or not health issues, but injuries is a concern. Is there a valid concern in that? That's what I've been hearing. I don't know how true
Why
that
is
is.
it a concern?
He's been hurt a lot, for what I heard.
No, that's no.
No.
That's one thing that we have a tendency to stay away from. Trent Baalke is in Jacksonville. By the way,
yeah,
those who know Trent Baalke, 2 ACL guys in this draft. Way to go,
yeah,
Trent.
yeah.
As much as
Bulky will
Hey,
be
things
hey,
bulky.
Beto,
same.
let me respond to a comment. I seen the comment that you just flashed up. I'm assuming it's towards me from Steve Stevens. Um, I
Uh,
saw something he said Jalen Hurd broke a vertebrae in his back. Stop. I guess that's towards me because I'm the only one talked about Jalen Hurd. I'm not really sure what he's saying stop for.
oh, here we go.
It's Steven. If you're not one of those fans that, yeah, that's a comment. If you're not one of those fans that was hyping up Jalen Hurd because he had a decent preseason or a good preseason, then that comment doesn't apply to you. So the reality is there were people talking about Jalen Hurd's going to do this, do that because they got excited about preseason. Just like they got down on Garoppolo
I
about
don't know
his
who that
bad
was.
preseason games, they got excited about Jalen Hurd. So if you're not one of those people who gets hyped up about a preseason, my comment wasn't applicable to you. Like I said, if you listen to what I said anybody who got hyped up about him having a great preseason, then that wouldn't apply to you if you're not one of those people. So just want
Very,
to make that
very
clear
good
because
point.
I think when people hear comments, they just react without actually listening to what was actually said. So I'm gonna stand on that. There were people in preseason who get hyped.
Oh
Some of you
God,
guys, yeah,
they,
with
they
Jalen
made
Hurd,
it
and it
sound like
wasn't
he was
just
the
Jalen
number
Hurd.
one wide receiver for us. Yeah, I
Yeah,
remember.
people. Look, I'm
Yeah,
being real, man. Like I listen to Niner fans talk, and this is what a lot of Niner fans were saying. And the reality is, Jimmy Garoppolo didn't have a good preseason, and people were like, "Hey, man, I think that Garoppolo's not going to be good." Blah blah blah. And he came out and had a good season. You know what I mean? This is what people do. They get hyped up on preseason. Preseason is not a good indicator of what someone's going to do. So who cares what you do in preseason? Again, it's all about D season. And if when you're given an opportunity and you get in there and you shine and you do your thing, and kudos to you. Until you show that in the season, I don't care what you do in preseason or whatever. So I just wanted to clear that up. I hope that brings any confusion that you had alleviated, minimized down. Because again, that's only towards fans who were saying that.
yeah. I don't have much of anything to say about that. People stop valuing practice and what people actually do in practice. You got to wait until they do it on game day. So there's a lot of practice heroes out there that never did much of anything in the game. So it's all about what you do on Sunday.
Absolutely. I mean, the Browns went 4-0 in preseason and went 0-16 in the year. No
Mm,
said.
yeah, I think you had the 3-1 Detroit Lions that went 0-16. Uh, and
Plenty of examples.
uh, what's his name? Ryan Leaf had an outstanding preseason
Yeah, he
before
was
his
a Pro Bowler preseason quarterback.
yeah. I mean, outstanding preseason. Look at how it turned out in the regular season. You
Yeah.
know, in the limited play that he had 1 touchdown and 15 interceptions.
Yeah, I like to look at preseason as entertainment, not as a measuring tool of how good they're going to be in the regular season. If you watch
No.
it for what it's worth, enjoy them play, and take nothing from it other than just enjoyment, that's okay for me. But when you sit there and go, this guy had a great preseason game, he's going to be that great in regular season, that's kind of ludicrous because real bullets are not firing in preseason. Players, defenders are not really playing that much in preseason. So you got to see what they're worth in regular season to get a better evaluation of what they're going to be. Until I see Jalen Hurd, and I was one of those guys that was excited, and I'm excited for him. But how can I lift him up if he hasn't played a down? He's been in the damn system for 3 years and haven't touched the field. I want to see him play, and if this is a year, then great. And if he can do great for us and he can move up, that's beneficial for us. But if not, then the Niners should move on and cut our losses and go elsewhere. For him to stay on the team another year, I think would be ridiculous, in my opinion.
I'm gonna tell you something though, man. Like, my concern would be mostly again same thing as it was last year. the health of our team, especially in the secondary. If we get banged up back there, that's going to be problematic with us. Um, you know, I know that we drafted 2 corners and a safety, but man, that would hurt because last year we proved for our team in particular that we were a top 10 defense without Nick Bosa. So that secondary for our team is very, very valuable. And we definitely got to hope we stay healthy back there. We have won games without Nick Bosa. So granted, we're a better team with Nick Bosa. Definitely would have him and D Ford out there if we could have Ford, damn it. But that secondary has to be out there, man. So that's more of my concern than Trey Lance playing. I'm more worried about the secondary. If the secondary gets banged up as a whole, I'm more concerned about our season.
Yeah,
If
it will be
Garoppolo goes
scary.
down and Lance is thrown in the fire, I'm good. I feel good enough that hey, he's gonna learn and progressively get better each week. I really believe in this kid and Kyle Shanahan. But the secondary, man, that's a scary thing. And they're known to get hurt. Kwaski Tart, Jimmy Ward, like Ferret. These guys have injury issues, man. So we really need to be concerned about that secondary more than a backup rookie quarterback playing, in my humble opinion. I'm not worried about Lance coming in week 1, week 10, week 14. Don't bother me. Secondary,
Yeah,
now we talking.
who's coming in their replacement? That's a valid point. You know, God
Yeah.
forbid something happens
I
to
mean,
Garoppolo, you have Trey Lance, whether he does well or not, but you have a potential starting quarterback dropped at a very high. You get someone like Verrett to get hurt, and he's been hurt. Who do you bring in? I mean, even the kid that we picked up, Avery or I forgot his name, Thomas.
yeah, that's a big significant
Yeah,
probably
bro.
drop off. To be fair, we have to let him play, but that secondary has a lot more concerns than I would say our quarterbacks. I feel better about our quarterback situation knowing the Beathard and Mullins is not the answer anymore. So secondary, that's where I'm concerned, man.
Yeah. So with that said, knowing that the secondary was a major concern, do you think the reason why the Niners did not draft early corners because the ones they wanted went off the board and the ones they valued that were there were the ones in the same kind of place were the ones they took? In your guys' opinion?
I think they got fleeced both in the second and the third round.
Yeah, I know. I
No,
saw it.
in the second round, I mean, you have to make that move. The move they made with the Raiders, you have to make that move. You know,
Yeah, yeah,
you drop down 5 spots, you give up a 7 for a 4 to move down 5 spots.
yeah.
Yeah, you do that. And uh, the guy that would have probably been a solid slot corner for them comes off the board the pick before they draft. He comes off at 47 to the Chargers. We draft at 48.
So
Then you get to our third round pick, and 2 guys that we could have potentially been looking at come off the board the 2 picks prior to us. So I think we just kind of, had some bad luck and missed the boat on some of the guys that we were interested in. And, I think they made pretty good decisions to go in a different direction because they didn't have the guys there that they wanted.
yeah, that's a good point. A lot of people say, well, were they planning to get running backs? I don't think they were planning to get running backs. I think they were going in trying to get a corners they want, but like Nate said, the ones they were looking for weren't there, so they took the best player available in the area they were picking. Now, let me bring you guys a question. Let me if you want to add to that real quick, Mike, to that question.
Nah, man.
Okay,
They hit the points, man.
okay. I just want to make sure I
Got
don't
nothing to say.
disrespect and jump over you.
Nah,
So, okay, just making sure. Now they did not move up, but they did trade both of their fourth to get that Rams 88 pick, and I've seen that there was a couple corners. Molden was one of them that was still there. So, but then again, what we see being a good corner for the team, maybe it's not what they see, and for them taking a running back, I don't think they had any value in that corner. There was 2 corners available there that could have went with the Niners instead of the running back. You think they should have taken those corners over that running back, or you guys thought that the running back was the best pick?
I don't know.
It's a hard one.
Ask me in 3 years.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I mean, I don't think
The whole world will know in 3 years, but I hear you.
the running back was a bad pick. I don't think that. I'm shocked that they drafted one so high. I mean, I think we talked about this. Bobby Turner coached teams. The last running back that was actually, when Bobby Turner was there, drafted, that was drafted third round or higher, that actually played. I'm not talking about, fourth round. What's his name? Joe Williams.
Joe Williams, sorry.
Talking about guys that actually played. Clinton Portis was drafted in the second round. I cannot recall another guy
that high, yeah,
that was drafted in the top 3 rounds of a Bobby Turner coach team. Now you can't count the guy from Florida State that was at Atlanta that got drafted in the was he in the second or the third round? But he was there before Bobby Turner got there.
Yep.
So Devontae Freeman.
Yeah. Real quick, I'll let you get back to your point, Nate. Now, the Portis, they got drafted in the second round. They were sitting there at that spot when they took him, right?
Yeah.
Now, this kid, they actually traded 2 4th rounds to get.
Now, that was Mike Shanahan, not Kyle Shanahan, but it was still Bobby Turner as the running back coach.
But to trade 2 4s to go up and get this kid, they must have seen something they love.
Yeah, I would think so. But, when you look at guys that flourished even in their system, a lot of guys 5th, 6th, 7th round draft picks.
Yeah.
Alfred Morris, Terrell Davis, Orlandis Gary, who I don't believe was drafted at all.
It was undrafted free agent.
Our running back staple, when we said we didn't know that we were going to have a running back that was undrafted perform like that. Well, we didn't really have much of a choice. I mean, we had a whole crew full of running backs until Tevin Coleman got there. Was the only drafted running back we had.
Yeah.
And
very good point.
Probably was one of the worst. And Jared McKinnon decided to play this year. He was drafted, but that's a story for another day.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. But this guy is by far the highest drafted player at running back since we've had Bobby Turner, which was when Kyle came. And like in years, he is the highest drafted. Yeah, Clinton Portis was drafted. Whew, man,
oh my God,
2 years before Frank Gore.
Yep.
Yeah, because Frank Gore
got hurt.
Was it 2005 that Frank Gore was drafted?
Yes, the same year as the quarterback, Alex Smith. 2005.
Yeah. So he was drafted in the 3rd round.
Yep.
And Clinton Portis was drafted in the 2nd round. And I think Willis McGahee was drafted in the 1st round.
Yeah.
In 2004. Yeah. And I mean, he was an ACL guy. And when Buffalo drafted him, I was like, what in the world?
And both of those guys sat behind Frank Gore at the U.
Yes. As a matter of fact, if it wasn't for Frank Gore's knee injuries, injured one knee, injured the other knee, they were both behind him.
Yep. So for Frank Gore injury. And he went at the lowest spot and lasted the longest and was the better running back of both of those. A particular, if I had to put in Gore in order, it would be Frank Gore, Portis, and then McGahee as top running backs.
Yeah. And the thing is, they had one running back that came a few years before that I think might have been the best of the bunch from that school by the name of Edgerrin James.
Oh, yeah. He was a beast.
Yeah, he was there before any of them.
Can you imagine if Trey Sermon becomes that kryptonite to the Rams for years to come, and the Rams realize they gave us that opportunity to draft him? Which I'm just throwing that out there. But real quick, to your point about trading down 5 spots and getting and accumulating a fourth instead of a seventh, if Trey Sermon plans out to be a great running back and we love to fall in love with him in the future, you got to remember that would have never happened without
with a 4 and
moving
a
down.
7.
Yeah, it would never happen because if you would offer the Rams a fourth and a seventh, they would have told you where to go. 2 fourths they took. So that's how important it is. A lot of people are like, Asante Jr. was there. They should have taken him. Like Nate said, and some people may disagree, and that's fine. But it's hard to pass up moving 5 spots down, accumulating a fourth over a seventh. It's just too hard to pass, regardless of who's there.
Yeah, you just don't do that. You don't.
If you're a smart football team, you don't. Exactly.
Yeah, because the bottom line is this. That 7th round pick, if you look at our team, there's a good chance he doesn't make this team. No matter who it is.
Yeah.
7th round draft pick is probably not sticking on this team. It's not like 2017. 2017 probably sticks.
Yep.
We didn't really have anybody. So
got my mascot.
Yeah, most likely. But when you talk about it this year, yeah, 7th's probably not making it. But I can guarantee you, when they package those 4s for this 3, I don't have a problem seeing that 3rd pick making this team. I think he's going to be just fine.
I think it's a matter of the best player available, in my opinion. That they had on their boards based on what Kyle Shanahan said post interview of the draft. If Samuel was there and that's who they wanted and he got picked right before them, then they probably looked at it and was like, man, we know we got some running backs on our team, but we got a guy that's probably going to be high quality, instant impact guy this year that we think we can utilize and make us a better team, and maybe fill that void that Coleman left as far as depth and potentially be a 1A, 1B to Mostert. Trey Sermon does have that ability, man, to come in instant impact and do some work this year, and it can pay off dividends. And honestly, if we're going to get the best player available, I have no problem getting a guy like Trey Sermon. I was actually excited about it. Was it the biggest need at that pick? No. But was it the best player available type of situation? Potentially, yeah. And if it was, hey, man, that could be the difference right there. I certainly am glad we got him, considering Mostert has been hurt too last year. So hopefully Mostert stays healthy.
After what I see, what he did to my defense. Yeah, I'm glad we got him too. He's
gonna, with our offense, our line, and our play calling, he's gonna thrive. I really believe that, and I think he's gonna be a huge impact for the San Francisco 49ers.
I agree. I agree, and I like that the other running back we picked up. I'm not saying he's gonna be as good, but I think he'll be a good complement to Sermon. The kid
Elijah
Mitchell, yeah, out of Louisiana.
I heard about him. He has some speed though, huh?
Yeah, he's a burner. 4.3.
Honestly, I think they took a look at their running back stable and said, you know what? Yep. We've got 2 guys, the main 2 guys we have are only under contract for 1 year.
Yep.
And Raheem Mostert, has some injury history. He's on the wrong side of 30. Maybe their plan is to move on from him after this year. And Jeff Wilson is going to have to fight for that number 2 spot. I really believe that these 2 guys are going to be the 1-2 punch in that backfield for the next 3, 4, 5 years. I believe that.
Yeah, that's a very good point. The 2, Jeff Wilson Jr. and Raheem Mostert, have a year contract. Bringing in these 2 running backs to pretty much replace them if things don't work out, and bringing them back. If Raheem Mostert has a great year with us and he gets in one of those I want to get paid moods, well, bye. Yeah, and to say that he won't, and I'm not saying he don't deserve to, but let's go ahead and do it in another team. And you have Sermon and you have Mitchell coming in. to take. And this is what I love about Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch. What's the word you like to use a lot, Nate? Future proof. Is that correct?
Yes.
So they're future proving the Niners organization by taking these two running backs. If things don't work out with Raheem Mostert and Jeff Wilson Jr. the following offseason, they can move on and we'll still be in a great spot.
There's a good chance that they might not have much interest in Mostert because of his, like I said, he's up in age.
Yeah.
And he's got a lot of injury history. Wilson might stick, beyond this year. But I'm really concerned. I thought I saw something in the comments. Do I think Jermichael Hasty will make the team? I do not think he will make the 53. I don't.
No, it's too hard.
I think the most that they will keep is 4 running backs, and I'm not counting Juice in that 4.
Yeah.
So the 4 will be Wilson, Mostert, Mitchell, Sermon. That's what I see.
And before you say that they won't do 4, last year they had 4 starting running backs. So
yeah,
they did go with 4. No, I'm supporting what you're saying. I'm talking about if anybody says no, they're not going to have 4. They did have 4, so that's not a far fetch.
Yeah, and we had 2 on the practice squad.
Yes, sir.
And we went.
And we needed them.
We went through every last one of them.
I sure hope that's the scary part, man.
Yeah, we were pulling guys up off the practice squad. We were putting guys on the practice squad I had never heard of. I'm like, oh my God. Oh, you know what? I forgot somebody. What about the guy that we picked up from
the Clemson guy?
Yeah, the one from
the New York Giants.
Oh, Gallman.
I forgot all about it.
Wayne Gallman.
Yeah, Wayne Gallman. He's in the mix too. What's up, Danny Navarro?
Mitchell going to the practice squad is dangerous.
Yeah, he can be
him
taken
on the practice squad. He'll probably get plucked by another team because you go to look at Seattle's running backs. Seattle will pluck him in a minute if he hits that
Seattle
squad. Yeah, I don't like the idea. I think Mitchell is going to be a guy going forward. I would honestly rather
put Wilson.
No, I don't really
pluck him too.
Let's put it this way: I would rather lose Wilson than to lose Mitchell at this point. But I have no real allegiance or anything to the guy from New York. So
put him in the practice squad.
You can put him on Seattle if you want.
Oh wow!
But you know what? He's a good serviceable back. I would love to keep them all, but it's just not practical to have 5 running backs on there.
No,
and I don't think that the practice squad is a place for Mitchell. You drafted him, and he's definitely good enough to be, a guy that can rotation for the next 4 or 5 years at least. Health permitting, and so I think it would be a bad idea to put him on the practice squad.
He was projected to go 4th, 5th round. And
he went in 5th.
Yeah. No, he went in 6th.
Was it 6? I thought it was 5.
No, 6.
Okay.
He was our last pick of the draft.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But still, he was predicted up high. He just went down he went down. But I think he's, to your point, Nate, I think he'll be a great complement. He's a good running back. He's kind of like a duplicate of Jeff Wilson Jr., just not with the experience in the
faster
pro. But he's fast, yes. Faster. So now you got Sermon that is able to break through the line, and you think about between the how does it go the first 10 yards, which running backs usually go by. Sermon's pretty fast. He's not as fast as Mitchell, but he's fast, especially the first 10 yards.
Those one-cut runners,
yes,
which is what you need in this zone running scheme. It's like, they get there and they put their foot in the ground and they cut upfield. And that's what you want to see. You want to see guys that see that hole and, are looking, don't see that helmet in that little 3 inches worth of space right there and just cut right up in there.
His vision is good, man. I've seen a lot of his tape. The vision that this Sermon has It's
when you think
ridiculous.
about visioning, I start thinking of Tevin Coleman.
Oh my goodness.
You know, blind men can find the hole better than
Well,
Tevin
those
Coleman.
runs that he had, it was because it was the damn
Oh.
everything was open. I could run through
Part of
there.
the
We
Red
all
Sea.
could run through there.
And first of all, notice he didn't bounce it anywhere. He hit the hole that was supposed to be there.
Yep.
Whenever he had to bounce it, forget it. He wasn't finding it.
And when the hole wasn't there, he was always what? Brought down immediately.
Or he just veered out wide and
Yeah.
ended up either getting tackled on the sideline or just running out of bounds. But obviously, Jose Avila hated Sermon in college. Well, this is probably an easy thing to answer, but who's your college team, Jose? That probably will answer that pretty easily. I don't know. Maybe Michigan. I don't know. Some Big Ten school, perhaps.
Yeah. Do you hate him because he? Yeah. Because you don't like Ohio State.
Yeah.
But he says he loves him now as a Niner, though, so that's good.
Let me ask the fans this question real quick. And this is for the fans out there, so you guys feel free to respond to this. If you have a college football team, like I'm a Florida State Seminoles fan, and let's say you draft a guy like Frank Gore who went to that little school down south, right? I would say the third best school down south behind FAU and FIU. So the third best school in South Florida, that's where Frank Gore went. He came to the San Francisco 49ers. Would you hate the rival team of that player who destroyed your college their whole career if they came to your NFL team? I want to know, would you hate him? So if you're a Michigan fan, do you hate Trey Sermon?
Well, just like we obviously know he said no. But in my case, I don't hate the opposition of the teams that I am a Florida State fan.
Hate the uniform, not the player, right?
I don't hate Miami. I don't hate Florida. I don't know. If he's from Boston College, though. He's from Boston College. Yeah.
That's a whole different show right there, bro, within itself.
I don't like him. I don't like him on the Niners. I don't like him nowhere.
Mother Teresa can be from Boston. You're not going to like her. So.
No.
Enough said there, bro. You don't love Mother Teresa when she's from Boston, bro.
Hey,
there's no more. If people don't pick up on that, bro, they don't know how much hate you have for Boston. For Boston, so
no Boston. That's why as much as I'm sitting here talking about Jimmy Garoppolo starting and how I'll be glad when he's gone. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh yeah.
Get out of here.
Yeah, that must have been hard for you, bro, to root undercover.
I am using that guy up. And when he's gone, don't let the door hit you on the way out.
See, just to clarify something real quick with Nate, and not my kids in his ass, I'm just making a point. He never said he liked Jimmy G. He just said, if you're going to get rid of Jimmy G, who is his replacement to get rid of him with? Sorry about my dog. Hey, stop it. But that was his point. So, because I know a lot of people are going to say, well, you always spoke highly about Jimmy. He liked Jimmy G's play. He done that and he wanted to keep him here. Just who are you going to replace him with?
Yeah. And now that you got his replacement, once he's finished being properly groomed, I will happily show Jimmy the exit.
So even if Garoppolo wins the Super Bowl, would that do a little bit?
Thank you for your service.
Yeah. He has a stamp in his ass, and it says Boston.
Cold,
so.
Man. Well, I'll be honest. I mean,
Boston.
There was a time when I was younger that I couldn't stand anything Candy Cane University, right? I could not stand
Candy Cane. I love that.
But that's what they are. And if you're a Miami Candy Cane fan, hey, we're 49ers, so I have no problem with you on this show since we're not faithful. But during college season on Saturday, yes, I don't like your team, but on Sunday, I'm going to give you a big old hug and some pound. But yeah, you know what I mean. When Frank Gore came here, I had to honestly look myself in the mirror and was like, "Look, man, this dude is representing that red and gold. His atrocities are no longer a problem to me on Saturday. He is now a faithful on Sunday. How can I root against a guy representing my NFL team to potentially win their sixth Lombardi? At that time, we didn't have that roster, but he's out there trying to win and run hard. And then when he was on our team and Kaepernick played that year with Alex Smith, had got hurt for the stint he did. Frank Gore was the guy on the team. I was rooting for Frank Gore to beat the Baltimore, as I call them, Baltimore Ravens, when they had Anquan Bolden, who played for Florida State. Granted, Baltimore Ravens had a couple candy cane players on their team as well, but they also had Anquan Bolden. So I'm going to tell you, what's up, Glenn? I see you, FSU, baby, go Noles. I'm going to tell you, I think this is where the dilemma comes in for guys, right? Let's take my man over here who said he's a Michigan fan. What was my man name?
That's Jose.
Jose.
Yeah.
Was it Jose?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's take my man Jose. Jose said he's a Michigan fan. He don't like Sermon. I'm going to tell you why that makes sense. I'm going to tell you why that makes sense. Hear me out.
Says he likes him now.
Yeah, he likes him now. But let's say he didn't like him now. I'm going to tell you why that makes sense, right? For some people, think about it like this: there are some people who are diehard college fans more than NFL, especially if you live in the southeast of the USA, because college down here is bigger than most regions, probably, right? So these guys are saying, I want my guy to do well in the NFL because I want him to represent. Like there are some Florida State or Candy Cane fans that will say, my guy's producing the NFL more than you. So when you have that school college allegiance, you want to see your team do very well. You know what I'm saying? You want to see your team players do very well. So what I say is to help balance that, if you want to root for your guy to do well in the NFL, root for him to do well in the NFL until he plays your team. Just hope him a loser. He can have a great game, but he loses. Maybe that might help some balance. See, me, I'm different. I don't care what Candy Cane fans say to me about how great their players are in the NFL versus their perception against Florida State, because I understand when they represent a college that has no own stadium, they don't even have their own stadium, and they talk about they got swag. I don't care what they say. They're irrelevant to me. You know what I mean? I'm a Florida State fan. So I care about what they do while they're in college. When they transition to the NFL, you're no longer playing for that pathetic university down there. So the reality is you're playing for the San Francisco 49ers now. As much as I hate to say it, if Tim Tebow came here, I would have to root for him. You know what I mean? I can't stand that team in Gainesville. I actually dislike the Gators more than I do the Candy Canes. You know what I mean? I can't stand the Florida Gators. But if any Florida Gator player came to the Niners and made us a better team and helped contribute to winning the Super Bowl, I will root for him. And when people say to me, hey, that Gator was balling, no, the Niner was balling. He didn't play for your team while he was in the NFL. I don't care how good he was in college. He's playing for the Niners. It's like Joe Montana. I don't like Notre Dame. I don't. But when these Irish fans come to me and they start talking about, hey, Florida State quarterbacks ain't like Notre Dame quarterbacks. No, your team quarterbacks ain't like San Francisco quarterback, bro. It has nothing to do with Notre Dame. I don't care. That was college. That's how I feel. But to each his own, man. Everybody's going to have their take. Some people root for players to do well in the league because they get pride off of saying, my college produced this guy. But, hey, man, he ain't playing for your college in the NFL. So it's been many great college players that haven't produced in the NFL. Why don't you claim them? Why you only claiming the good ones?
A lot of times, guys that say a lot of that, it's usually because their NFL team sucks.
Wow. True. Oh, wow.
That's what I'm getting at. You know,
Yeah.
that's a very good point. You're absolutely correct. A lot of them do. But some guys just, you know, they just want to see their college guys do so well because they love their college so much, which like I said, I understand. I've heard both arguments. But for me individually, I'm not saying somebody's wrong or right for doing that. I'm just saying, for me individually, I can't root against any member of the San Francisco 49ers, me being a 49er fan. Once you leave college, you have your depth is no longer going with you unless you go to that pathetic team in Texas. And I'm not talking about the Texans, the other pathetic team.
Yeah, I was gonna
If you
say,
go
but
to that team,
they are the pathetic team in Texas.
correct. If you go to
Woo.
that team, then your depth goes up with me. And yeah, I don't like that team. I really don't. I can't stand that team. And their star sucks. So anyway, that's my whole take on it. I hope our team stays healthy. My only concern about this season coming up is not our division. It's not all this hoopla about the Arizona Cardinals are going to be improved. They might be. Man, I don't give a damn about no damn Cardinals.
Why should
Do I
you?
look like I'm
I
worried
hear
about
you.
some damn Cardinals? No.
You know, I mean, what happened before? You know, they beat us. We win the division. Have a nice day.
Yeah, it's not about Arizona. It's about the now 17 games schedule that we got to play. So I don't give a damn about Arizona. It's about, can we win our division? Can we beat out enough teams to be first in the NFC? And can we go to the Super Bowl and win? That's all that matters to me. Arizona is just 2 teams of the year. And you know what? To be honest with you, we'll beat Arizona. And we did. Did we beat Arizona? We split with them last year
Yeah,
Yep.
that as we
with a
were last
depleted
year. As a
with a
matter of fact,
depleted roster.
when we beat them,
I was hoping they didn't, but
them out of the that kept them out of the playoffs.
Come
that
on,
was
man.
Arizona, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we beat
Oh,
Arizona with a depleted roster, guys. Like, who
With
cares
CJ
about Arizona in this?
Beathard.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
who cares about what they're doing? Look at what the hell we doing, damn it. We the San Francisco 49ers. Don't forget that. We got more Super Bowls in our division by
Put
ourselves than
together.
the whole division.
Right,
Yep.
that's enough cheerleading. Everybody knows how many we have.
Freaking Nate.
Yeah.
Real quick.
Glenn has a question here, and his question is: do I think it's wrong to buy another player's jersey that doesn't play for the Niners? Because some clown actually told you that you're not a true Niners fan because you own a Barry Sanders jersey. If you like Barry Sanders, buy a Barry Sanders jersey. You know, and if you really want to be tricky about it, buy a Niners jersey and have Barry Sanders' name put on it. I mean, do what you want to do. It has nothing to do with what kind of fan you are. You can be a fan of individual players.
Yes, sir.
Don't play for the Niners. There's no problem with that.
Barry Sanders retired anyway.
I'm gonna have a problem with it if you got a Patriots jersey though. Outside of that,
Hey, you know what, Glenn? I'm glad you asked that question because I was going to bring up another point. And Glenn, to your point, to answer your question, uh, if you got a throwback classic player like Barry Sanders, who was a phenomenal running back, and you like that guy, that doesn't take away from that. To me, that just shows that you respect a great player. To where, hey, he didn't play for my team, but I do like this guy. I want his jersey. That's a sign of respect to me. So that has nothing to do with your credentials as a Niner fans, man. Um, I think when people start getting caught up on what makes you a fan, they have to
right?
quit. Like I've heard people say, if you weren't if you're a fan of the Niners, then you should be a fan of all the San Francisco teams because you're only liking the Niners because they won 5 Super Bowls. I've heard people say stuff like that. Let me tell you why they say that. They say there are people that like, okay, if you grew up in my generation, San Francisco in the 90s was a good team to root for. The Chicago Bulls was a good team to root for. The Atlanta Braves or Yankees in the 90s was a good team. So you have some fans who like these teams when they were kids, they were growing up. They end up liking the Tar Heels, they like the Bulls, they like the Niners, and they like the Yankees, right? All of those are teams. This is a guy that I know who says similar. I know a guy that's a Niners fan, but he like all the teams that were top in the 90s. Some of them aren't so good today. Like Chicago, they're not what they used to be right now, but he's still a Bulls fan. Is he a real Niners fan, or is he just a Niners fan because they won? They were all winners back then.
He is absolutely a Niners fan because when other teams started winning, he didn't switch. Maybe that's just the time that he came up in, and that's fine. Glenn, Niners, Bulls, and Yankees. I'm good with that. Stay away from Boston.
No Red Sox.
Um,
You're fine.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have any other football jerseys other than Florida State and 49ers. But baseball, I'm an Atlanta Braves fan. I have a lot of Atlanta Braves jerseys. But I also am a big Ken Griffey Jr. fan. I have Ken Griffey Jr. Seattle Mariners jerseys. I have Ken Griffey Jr. Cincinnati Reds jerseys. So yeah, I mean, there's no
Yeah.
problem with that. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm still a
I don't know where it's at, but I have an old Dan Marino jersey.
Oh yeah,
I had it for years.
sure.
The guy that I was telling you about, this is why I got him on this fandom crap. So, like me, I use myself as an example. I was born overseas, so I didn't get really put on to American sports until I moved to the USA. So once I moved to the USA, I lived in a few different states, so it was hard for me to say I like this one team, this and that. But once I started watching it for myself more, I liked it on the team. Now I was always, matter of fact, San Francisco 49ers was the only American team that I saw consistently. I have seen the Chicago Bulls when Michael Jordan had hair, but those like old reruns. But I actually saw the 49ers when I was living abroad growing up. So the 49ers was my first American team that I liked. So I've always liked the 49ers. Now when I moved to the States, I started adapting a little bit more with other sports. And eventually when I got settled in the state of Florida, I made pretty much all my teams out of Florida. But I grew up like the Chicago Bulls before the Orlando Magic became a franchise. Um, I watched the Braves with my dad before the Marlins became a franchise. But at the end of the day, I chose to like the teams that I like. So I did not root for the Braves. I ended up being a Marlins fan.
Nobody.
Chicago, Chicago Bulls was the team that I rooted for. Going back to Double Dribble on Nintendo, if you old school like me. But when the Orlando Magic became a franchise, I ended up liking the Magic for myself due to visiting the city a lot. I fell in love with them. So I ended up making Florida teams my base. But this guy tells me, like, hey, well, that's okay. You're different. I'm like, no, I'm not. So why I got him? Simple. If your kid was born in Florida, why is he a Knicks fan? Because this guy was from New York. He said, well, that's different. He's my son. He has to root for what I say. I said, no, according to your theory, if you got a team in a state, you got to be a team of that whole state. You can't pick and choose different states. So why is it that you're all New York, but your son is a Magic fan? Now he was born in Florida. Why can't he be all Florida? And you see how it goes, it gets contradicting. So to answer your question, Glenn, when it comes to being a fandom, nobody can have a concrete answer. There's some people who are going to be extreme and say, I had a guy tell me because I never been to a San Francisco game in California, I'm not a real 49er fan. That made absolutely zero sense. Like, I live in Florida. I don't have the luxury to go to California at my leisure. I do now. But growing up, I was, think about it. I moved to USA when I was 14. How am I going to buy my own plane ticket to go to California? It just made no sense.
First of all,
And this is where I get every
you
time
know how
somebody
many
talks.
fans have never been to a game?
Do you
Because
know how many fans live in the
they're
state that don't have
expensive.
an NFL team and they got to choose a team to root for? What if you live in Hawaii? You don't have an NFL team, but you're a 49ers fans. I'm aware Hawaii has a ton of 49er fans, right? Are they less any fans because they don't have an NFL team? That's the stupidest thing someone could say.
Yeah,
So my whole
I mean,
thing is it doesn't matter. If you're a fan, my thing is
It
this. As
doesn't
long as you're
matter.
a fan for your reason and you stay with that team, who gives a damn who else you like?
Yep.
Period.
As
like
long as you like them.
In Florida, baseball. When you came to Florida, there were no baseball teams.
Nope, not at all.
Yeah, most Florida people were Atlanta Braves fans.
Braves fans. Correct.
Yeah.
That's facts.
Mhm.
Hey,
That's
Mike,
true.
Glenn says that if you're going to go to the Jacksonville game, he'll be there.
Am I going to the game? Not only am I going to the game, I'm going to sit in the section where they be chanting Duval, and I'm going to be like, bang, bang, Niner gang in their section with my shit on.
You
So,
guys should
hell
meet
yeah,
up, and
I'm going to
you guys
the
should
game.
meet up. He's going to be at the game too.
Let's do it, man. I'm ready, man. We got the Orlando Niner chapter going up there, so we ready.
Perfect. Yeah. So
I'll be
I
mocking that Duval chant while I'm there, too.
beat up on that kid. They came from the best college team to ever play. Clemson Tigers. Anyway.
Man, when did Clemson get a program that was actually relevant, Beto? before Deshaun Watson, what did Clemson do in the 80s? Was their last championship?
Okay.
That the coach that they have now, that's they haven't had one since
I'm in the present, not in the past,
Are
bro.
you talking about that team, Clemson? Is that the team that calls itself Death Valley that got beat by the real Death Valley in the
Oh my
championship?
God!
LSU.
One game, one
LSU?
Is
meaningful game.
Clemson? Is Clemson the same team that runs down the hill with balloons going in the air? That team?
Was Clemson the team that produced that quarterback that you're in love with?
kind of questionable behavior right there.
Because you love that quarterback that came out of Clemson, don't you?
Which
I loved
one?
it before he went to Clemson, but hey,
Stop.
Yeah. Well,
There you go, bro.
it ain't because he went to Clemson why I loved it. I
of
loved
course,
it because he
of
was an
course, I know
opportunity
that.
for the San Francisco 49ers. That
I
helped
know
me
it.
like him more. But obviously we didn't draft him.
No, he's getting drafted by the
oh,
Salon Parlor.
Yeah, I hope that he gets that straightened out.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
man.
what do you guys think the schedule is gonna be like? Tanisha's curious.
There's going to
What's
be
up, Tanisha? Thanks for chiming in.
We're going to play everybody in our division twice. We're going to play everybody in the AFC South once. We're going to play everybody in the NFC North once. And we're going to play the Cincinnati Bengals. That's the schedule.
What's your thoughts, Mike?
All right. I'm going to answer that a little bit differently.
Thank you.
I mean,
I had to get off camera, bro. You're too much.
So what do I think the Niners schedule is going to be like? I think it's going to be an interesting schedule because it seems like when they make this schedule, they want to put games to like I've never understood why we have to play Seattle like the last game of the season, like damn near all the time. Like I would want to play Seattle for once kind of early in the year to where I want to play Seattle week 1 so we can have Jimmy Garoppolo there, hopefully. You know, I've never seen us play Seattle. Like we open up with Arizona. Why can't we open up with Seattle? You know, I want to play them early, get them out the way because it's like we always play them in a crunch time where we got these hard games or something. It's like it's never to our advantage. I want to play Seattle early.
Last couple of years, we played them mid-season and we played them late. Those were the two games.
I want to see them early. Like I said, we opened up with the Cardinals. I want to see us open up with them once. And, you know, that'd be fun. But I don't know. This is just how I feel. I know NFL fans in our division, maybe NFL in general, think Seattle stadium is intimidating. This 12-man crap that they stole from Texas A&M or borrowed, whatever. You know, an NFL team has to go get a bunch of college kids slogan. Wow. But, you know, I don't know. I think Seattle stadium is personally overrated. I've never been to Seattle, but I mean, all this noise.
It is.
Yeah, I've heard that. I've heard that, but I don't know, man. I would love to just experience it and go there. I don't know if I could stay there for a whole game because I don't like Seattle at all.
You could. You absolutely could. It's not nothing about that.
Especially if we're winning that game. It makes it even more funner.
Yeah, that makes it easier to stay.
Yeah.
And my 2 trips there were 1-1. So
I would have loved to have been at the game when we stopped them at the 1-yard line. That would have been sweet. Them Seattle fans walking out looking like we just stole their heart. I mean, that was such a great feeling. I really enjoyed that.
Kind of did.
Yeah, I mean,
you went from division champs to the 5 seed in about that much distance.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
You know, I'm a huge soccer fan, so Seattle fans to me is just PG-13. I'm a soccer fan, you already know. So when I see my guys over there in Europe playing and the fans over there compared to what they doing up there in Seattle, I laugh at Seattle. Their fans are garbage, but to each his own.
Yeah, we don't want no tight games, bro. Come on.
But I'm excited about this year. I'm ready for the season to come out. Let me ask you guys this: does anybody know if the NFL is allowing fans into the games this year, or any word or update?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, but as far as how many, they haven't really. That's still to be continued. And we're in May, man. Season's in September. Let's
Yeah.
But
see how.
Are
the
we
direction they're
are
going,
we going to
let's
be
get.
playing in Santa Clara or Arizona, stuff like
No,
that?
it looks like hey, we're playing in Santa Clara. Yeah.
Thank God.
The way it looks like it's there are going to be
I'll
fans available
LA.
unless something takes to the worst.
We can play in Inglewood in our new stadium.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
that's what
LA
I would
South
like to
is,
open up with the Rams. Play Matthew Stafford for game 1. I think that'll be
hey,
fun.
the Rams South is Levi South, but the Rams play is Levi South. So that's pretty cool.
Yep,
Levi Southern California.
our Southern
Levi State.
Stadium.
SoFi.
So if we're allowed to come in the stadium, man, that'd be great. To have the fans in there. Um, so I can't wait, man. I mean, I'm excited. Let me ask you guys this on the panel and the fans. Do you have a particular game in the division, and what division game and non-division game are you looking forward to? Assuming that kind of know who we're playing by now.
Yeah, we know this. We know who's on the schedule.
You just don't know when we're playing them.
Yeah, as a
No,
matter of fact,
I mean, as far as I'm sorry, I misquoted that. As far as we don't know when we're playing them,
oh
yeah,
no,
we know
no.
we're playing. I'm sorry, when we're playing them,
How
but
many primetime games do you think we're going to have?
that depends on how healthy we are.
Four.
About 4.
Yeah, I mean they might start snatching them if we get hurt because you saw we had a bunch last year and took them all from us.
Do you guys think that in our division? I mean, I know it's way too early, but do you think in our division that we possibly have 3 teams that make the playoffs this year?
Sure.
Probably. And
Who is going to be the one left out? Is it Arizona left out again?
Arizona, yeah.
Seahawks.
Yeah, I'm
No.
hearing this year some people saying Seahawks.
Yep.
Will be the
You know
fourth
what?
division
And
this
you
year.
know the reason why I don't buy that? First of all, Russell Wilson. Second of all, he made a bunch of noise and all of a sudden they start getting offensive linemen.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. Yeah, I'm not worried about that. Yeah,
They
if
did the
I'm looking
opposite
at
of
it's Arizona.
Yeah, Seattle did the opposite of the Packers.
Yeah. Hey, we want the team to be better because see, here's the thing. With Russ and what is
Matthew
that? Coach?
Stafford?
Carroll.
Oh, Pete Carroll, yeah.
Russ and Carroll, they both want the team to be better. Yeah, they don't always agree with how it should get better.
True that.
Carroll's out there giving 2 number 1s away for a safety, and Russ is like, "What about these dudes standing in front of me?" And that's where he gets. So, I have a hard time seeing a team that put more help in front of him, who's was the first place team last year in our division, and all of a sudden they're going to go to out of the playoffs. Yeah, Arizona, who didn't make the playoffs this year, and they say they're getting better. Arizona was not better last year than they were the year before. So
I do like that linebacker they picked up though in the draft, but they're not going to get that good quick.
yeah, I mean, you need more than a linebacker for what I see. So
Of course.
They give us the blues. But as a whole, that team loses a lot of games that I feel like they have no business losing. And as long as they continue to do that, you can't get past us, the Rams and Seattle, playing that inconsistently. And that's another thing. They always push Kyler Murray into this like, okay, Jimmy Garoppolo's the worst quarterback in the division. Well, I mean, he's the most unlikely to show up on game day to the game because he's injured, but the most inconsistent quarterback in the NFC is Kyler Murray.
Yep.
So while they're so quick to, say whatever they're saying about it, Murray is the one that has good games and very bad games. It's like he's
his head coach. I don't like him, bro.
Kingsbury.
Yeah, bro. He's
Well, I don't know.
Let me ask you a question.
On him too.
Seattle apparently has the harder schedule because they are the first. Were they the first place team?
Yeah, but that's a couple games. You know, that that's not going to bring them down to Arizona status. You know,
Yeah,
that's 3 games. Basically, your NFC, you get whatever division we're playing, which we happen to be playing the North. Seattle's going to get the first place team from the South, the West, and the East, where we're going to get the last place team from those 3 divisions. And now it's 4. You know why? Because the AFC North, we're going to get the last place team from there, and they're going to get Pittsburgh. So
Does NFC North? Is that Chicago,
NFC North is Chicago.
Minnesota, and them? Okay, so
Detroit.
it'd
Yeah,
be interesting. We're playing. You said that we're playing their division this year, right? So we'll
the
be
North.
playing against
Yes.
Justin Fields.
Yes.
So that's to be interesting. I'm sure that game's going to get a lot of hype that we pass on Fields.
And the funny thing about it, it's probably going to be, especially if it's early in the year, it's probably going to Andy Dalton and Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yep.
So all that hype and the 2 guys that they're hyping it about aren't even on the field.
That's true. Very good point.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting.
The Bears. Yeah, we play the North, and then we play the South, right?
AFC South, yes.
Yeah. So we got Buckner coming into town.
Yeah, whatever. What you got is that Carson Wentz.
Yeah. Well, him and Lance will have a nice chat before the game starts.
Yeah, a couple of old North Dakota State guys. So
yeah. Before we close the show, and because we're almost almost 2 hours.
2 hours, yeah.
Which is the show has been great, by the way. Who is a better prospect coming out of college, Carson Wentz or Lance?
Coming out of college?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Wentz, but it's marginal. And the only reason I'm gonna say that is because, like I said, he is a more accurate thrower of the football. But here lately,
yeah,
that stuff that's been going on in Philly, I wonder. But coming out, he was definitely a better thrower of the football to start, and I just hope that Lance can have the better pro career, because there's plenty of guys that weren't that guy in college. And
I want him to take that Josh Allen route, just faster.
No, I'm not sold on Josh Allen yet. Jury's still out on him, because one of the things that I looked at just watching Josh Allen is Josh Allen had a lot of, once again, uncatchable balls. And now Josh Allen isn't like dead-eye accurate. He just gets the ball in catchable positions. In the
vicinity of the receivers
guys aren't able to necessarily get those yards after the catch like they should all the time, but he's completing the passes where before he wasn't completing the passes. So that's a major step up for him. And when you look at his completion percentage, it really looks great. And it's a huge step. But, he's got some of that Jimmy Garoppolo throw the ball behind the guy and he catches it. But, if he would have thrown it in front of him, he probably would have got another 8, 10, 12 yards. So he does do that.
Yep. All right. Well, let's go ahead and wind it down, because my back is killing me. I didn't realize we were up here for 2 hours, and you can tell Mike is tired. And how late is it over there, Mike?
12:15.
12:14.
Oh, yeah. So, but it's been fun. And, when you're having fun talking about football, especially the Niners, and you're having great conversations, man, I don't know about you guys, but these 2 hours went pretty fast, man. So, I just want to thank all the viewers and appreciate you guys for attending tonight's show. Continue to support the N.W.A podcast here on YouTube. If you have not subscribed to the channel yet, please go and subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, and hit that notification bell so that you guys will be notified each and every time we go live. Help us grow the NWA. We appreciate it. And like always, I just want to thanks my co-host tonight, Mr. Boston Hater himself in Florida, Mike. I appreciate both of you. I appreciate you guys' input, the energy you guys bring into the show. I am blessed to be friends with you guys, man, and I'm blessed to be part of this show. And E-Man is probably snoring away because he's dealing with COVID right now. Keep him in prayer, guys. Keep E-Man in prayer. He's dealing with COVID, and keep his family in prayer. But he's in here in spirit. So everyone, Kathy, I'm not going to mention names because I'm probably going to miss a name. So everyone that tuned in tonight, everyone that watches this in the replay, thank you for your support. I appreciate you. We appreciate you. Continue to support the Niners. We're going to have a great season and look forward to seeing us again on Monday at 7:15 Pacific Standard Time. Until then, have a great night. Have a wonderful weekend. God bless, and we are out.
And Dallas Cowboys.